In Gore, a methodical inspection for Inspire property manager Nicola.
Oh my God. A wrecked kitchen to start with. We've also got a destroyed bathroom. If it is contaminated, I'd hate to think how much it's going to cost to fix it.
And Trust property manager Jared launches a military-grade operation to remove multiple squatting tenants.
Who the hell's this?
In the southern South Island town of Gore, it's chilly.
2 degrees.
And guess who's mobile? Inspire property manager Nicola has driven over from Invercargill to check on a property of concern after hibernating for weeks on end during the COVID-19 national lockdown.
The owner brought the property over to us to manage. We've got no payment of rent. I know absolutely nothing about this tenant apart from what's been written on paper. So we get to meet each other today if it happens. Otherwise, I get to meet the property, but hopefully it's all in good shape. We'll see what happens. Yeah, she's looking very empty. So I'm just going to swing up the driveway now. There's a mailbox on the ground. Someone's left me a note on the window too.
Perhaps that note on the door is an envelope full of rent arrears and an apology from the tenant. It's not.
To whom it may concern, I'm interested in renting the property.
The colour drains from Nicola's face. A catch-up and a cup of tea seem highly unlikely.
Totally smashed in walls. So yeah, clearly this is abandoned.
The ex-tenant is clearly gone, but she's left behind a huge amount of damage to add to the considerable sum of money she owes the landlord.
Oh my God. Righty-ho. Well, that's not a good start.
At Wellington's Trust Property Management, all eyes are on screens and all ears are on phones. Problem solving.
We have an unwanted guest at one of our properties, which is causing our tenants a little bit of frustration with the late night noise and the partying that they're doing between the floor spaces. What we'll be doing is setting up one of the special traps. We'll have a motion night vision camera to capture the partying under the house, and it'll put an end to it.
Jared's an early adopter. His use of emerging tech in the property management game is legendary throughout the industry. Robbie from Good Nature has arrived to help Jared. He's Wellington Council certified, and if his surveillance kit's anything like his car, this job will be over before it's begun.
G'day Robbie, thanks for coming.
No worries, thanks mate.
Hello, it's Jared, Trust Properties.
No sign of raucous behaviour right now means Jared and Robbie can quickly set up the traps.
Okay, so this is the space.
The parties have taken place in a small service cupboard. It's cramped, but as everyone knows, clubs and venues in the city have been trying to cut costs.
We'll set up one of these night cameras and see whether we can't see who's coming and going.
Cool, let's get to it.
And this is just a motion detector. It has some infrared lights, just powered with some batteries and an SD card. It's got a really wide angle lens, so I think it'll pick up everything.
With the setup sorted, it's now a simple case of waiting and watching.
The possum. We've actually got a possum there under the house. Okay. We might have to talk to Robbie about getting one of their possum traps as well.
Teacher and student meet back at the property for a lesson in vermin control. Robbie's showing Jared the merits of his Good Nature possum exterminator.
So when the animal's struck, it's instantaneously and humanely dispatched.
Yeah.
We're going to get a bit of this bait out. So what we've made here is a mixture of some oil, some cinnamon, some sugar. So as the animal comes in from underneath the trap, put their head straight up inside the trap, bite onto this with their teeth, and that pulls down on the trigger itself.
Jared's clearly had his hair blown back. Over the next couple of days, it's business as usual, before returning to Possum Central.
Let's go check it out. Hopefully we've had some success. This trap's worked. Case closed. Hello, it's Jared, Trust Properties.
First signs are promising,
All the bait's gone.
but in the cupboard, Jared comes up against a wall and a wall.
No possum. A lot of possum poo still been around. The counter is saying 1 strike.
It's a Bermuda Triangle level mystery.
Definitely nothing.
There's possum poo, a registered possum kill on the trap, but no possum.
The only thing we can do is take the footage from the motion camera, go and find out what's been happening. This possum is proven to be quite tricky.
It's back to Trust Property HQ, where a detailed analysis of the footage reveals an astonishing result.
Who the hell's this?
Oh my God.
In the second largest centre of Southland, Gore, Inspire property manager Nicola is inspecting a house where the tenant stopped paying rent during a national crisis and vanished.
Holy shit. Excellent. They have done a runner. Obviously they don't want their pots and pans and, yeah. A wrecked kitchen to start with. And we've got damaged walls. That's 2 rooms. Totally smashed in walls. The lounge has got the walls all damaged up. Some little girl's missing a dress up. That's a bit mean.
Neighbours have reported the tenant was very fond of parties, but not kids' parties, adult parties, with loud music and shouting till the wee small hours.
Yeah, not good at all. Oh my God. So we've also got a destroyed bathroom. What would make someone want to smash a vanity and then clean it up afterwards? That's not cool. This owner's just not going to be happy when he sees this. This is not good. Okay, it's another smashed door and we're into a bedroom with great stuff. All the carpets are munted. I reckon they've had a dog or something in there. Stains everywhere. This is just...
The ex-tenant and or her friends have knocked the stuffing out of this property. Nicola suspects the damage occurred after knocking off a bit of Class A.
Something's been going on in this place. You wouldn't smash up this many walls, the bathroom, have the place the way it is. So I'm going to actually go and get this place tested. I believe that this will be contaminated. This could end up costing 50 grand by the time it's all fixed. If it is contaminated, I'd hate to think how much it's going to cost to fix it.
With the bill for putting this wrongdoing right expected to be anything up to 1/3 of the property's entire value, Nicola hopes the landlord has insurance. In Wellington, Trust property manager Jared is reviewing footage of a possum trap set inside one of his rentals. The trap's been triggered, but Jared couldn't find any evidence of a dead body.
Who the hell's this?
Now he can see why.
Oh, this is the defluff guy. The insulation guy. Hopefully he didn't go playing with the trap.
No prizes for guessing why Jared found no dead possum.
I know what's it.
The defluff insulation man may have inadvertently set off the trap.
What are you doing? Big shot of his butt crack on the motion camera. The defluff guy.
It's back to the property once again for Jared to reapply the bait and advise tenants and visitors to steer clear of the downstairs cupboard.
Hopefully we'll have success and the noise that the tenants had been experiencing will now disappear. So I'm fingers crossed, the problem's been dealt with.
And with that, the waiting game begins again.
Ah, here we go. We can see him eating the bait just below the trap.
And it doesn't take long for Suzanne Marsupipal to put those famous luminous spheres right where Jared wants them.
Oh, putting his head in. Come on. Oh, it actually set off. It got him.
Jared's an animal lover,
Fell out of the trap.
but the Good Nature trap is 100% humane, and his tenants will finally be able to sleep.
There was definitely no possum there.
He jumps on the phone to tell them the good news.
How's it going? So I've been able to look at the footage. The possum set off the trap.
The tenants are obviously thrilled.
Okay, catch you later. Bye.
It's case closed, and another notch on the bedpost of success for Trust. But several days later, another furry bombshell drops on Jared and the Trust team.
Something's back.
Noises have returned to one of his rentals. Bigger, louder, and meaner than before. Jared drops everything and swings into action.
Not looking good for us at the moment. The fact that we've discovered that we've also got a new visitor and that we're dealing with that. The tenants have been pretty patient. I wouldn't have expected it to have been 3 trips, now going on a 4th trip.
The question is, how are these unwanted guests getting into the house in the first place? Before heading inside, it's time for a reconnaissance mission.
Yes, I'm just coming down to check around all the basement areas to find out possible entry points. Definitely the foundation manhole being open, that's certainly an easy entry point for them.
That's one pest portal closed, but Jared spies another one.
They can squeeze in some pretty tight spaces, but the hole that the duck's going through, there doesn't leave much room for a possum to get in.
Could it be this latest intruder isn't even a possum, but something smaller, more invasive? Inside the nook, the status of the possum trap lends weight to that theory.
The trap hasn't been activated again since we were last here.
Looking around, Jared finds no physical evidence of the animal, if it is an animal. But in a made-for-TV moment, he remembers he left the video camera going last visit.
So what I'm going to do now is check the video footage, see if we've had further activity in here.
But just as Jared thinks he's caught a break, disaster strikes.
Battery's down.
He needs to check if any images recorded on the camera. But how?
Back up.
These situations are where Jared's background in electronics comes in handy. Swiftly connecting to the internet, accessing mainframes, and downloading drivers.
Ah, here we go.
Bingo.
So that's a new problem. This is pretty frustrating.
In Gore, Southland, an appalling situation has befallen Inspire Invercargill property manager Nicola.
Oh my God.
A landlord has asked her to help him hurry along a tenant who stopped paying rent. But she's not only left his house after the COVID-19 lockdown, she's wrecked it too.
Never seen anything broken like that.
The property bears all the hallmarks of a good old-fashioned bender.
Very concerned.
Nicola promptly had the place tested for this hideous drug.
Never seen it.
The results are back, and they're off the charts.
Not one room has been spared. They have smoked it in the bathrooms, toilets, bedrooms, you name it. So she's pretty bad. It's the highest that I've ever had. I think it's actually might be a record for Invercargill and Gore area as well.
To make matters worse, insurance is now doubtful due to issues around various requirements as laid out in the landlord's original policy.
I need to go back and make sure that there's no squatters, there's no one broken in, there's no further damage to the property, and just making sure that we're keeping an eye on it because the last thing we need is further damage.
Safety is always a priority, so Nicola's brought along PPE gear just in case.
Rightio, let's see how we're getting on. So we've had cleaners in, well, at least they got rid of all the crap that was lying around here, so all the rooms have been emptied. We've had someone in to get rid of that, but all the soft furnishings like these curtains, well, they're about 1980s, so they could be updated anyway, but they've got to go. The carpets have got to go because anything soft furnishings absorbs this. So all of this has to be gone. So that'll get all stripped out soon, and then it's getting cleaned.
While the whole house has been contaminated, some rooms fared much worse than others.
Just looking at the test on my phone. So in this lounge here, 0.89, and same in the kitchen. And then we head into the bathroom and we've got 5.4. Got a hallway of 23, which is terrible. Definite bedroom at 11.5. This is just crazy. These are toilet, 10.1.
With the house at least secure, there's nothing much for Nicola to do until the insurance status of the landlord is finalised.
All this could have been avoided for the sake of having a property manager. You look at the costs, but if you look at your insurance policy, it states the landlord's obligations. If you want to look after your own property yourself, cool, but make sure you read your insurance policy, because if you don't do your inspections and you don't have them officially in writing and documented and everything documented, the insurance company has a right to reverse your claim.
In Wellington, Trust property manager Jared is dealing with a sustained home invasion situation at one of his rentals.
This is pretty frustrating. We just got a rat. So that's a new problem. We've just spied that we've actually got a rat under the house as well. Pretty decent sized rat, but we'll need to get some rat bait. I think that will quite quickly deal with the new visitor that we've got.
As an experienced property manager, it's no surprise Jared has supplies in his truck.
Some bait to deal with the rat and some new batteries to set this camera up again.
Rat bait down, camera re-batteried and reset.
So, got new camera location.
Jared can head back to the office.
Hopefully this will be the last visit that we have to do, and the problem will be taken care of.
But surprise, surprise, a couple of days later, Jared's called back to the property yet again. This time there's been a complaint of a completely different noise from the downstairs cupboard.
Okay, so the counter hasn't changed. Good sign is a lot of the rat bait has gone. The next thing to do now is check the camera footage.
With the possum trap untouched, this new animal can't be a possum. Surely no rat can survive feasting on multiple bait blocks, so what on earth can it be?
It's a mouse. It's a different... Now we've got a mouse. A third rodent to deal with in this space.
Jared's at his wit's end.
Christ, it's just getting worse and worse for us.
But mercifully, before his very eyes, the mouse appears to take its fate in its own tiny little hands.
I think that was him taking one of the bait blocks away. They're going to chow down on this, that's a good thing.
Jared has a feeling that finally, this time, it might be job done for good.
So, possum dealt with. The bait blocks will do their thing, so the rat and mice will be dealt with in time. So I think that's case closed.